Holly with Stella Mari's Quilts. Welcome to our series on 50 blocks for 50 states as we journey through this book with permission from the publisher. So check out the information on it in the description below. Also, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out as new content is released for the series. Today we are going to be working on the Arkansas block. For the Arkansas block, we're going to need from our dark fabric 16 1 3/4 inch squares, 4 1 3/4 by 10 inch rectangles. Out of our medium, we're going to need 4 3 3 inch squares. We're going to need 4 1 3/4 by 7.5 inch rectangles. And then out of our light, we're going to need 16 1 3/4 inch squares. We're going to need 2 2.5 by 3 inch rectangles, and then 1 2.5 by 7.5. The first step in this block is going to be to make some square and square pieces. To do that, we're going to use our 3-inch squares, and we're going to use our small squares out of our dark. We're going to need 4 for each. And what we're going to do is we're going to snowball the corners of our squares. We'll start by placing the dark against the medium on two opposite corners. And we'll sew down from corner to corner. If you like to mark that, you can draw a line with a pencil. You could press the squares across so that you follow the pressing line. For me, these are small enough that I can do it by sight on my sewing machine, so I'm going to just take them over and sew them down. Now that I've snowballed two corners on these 4 squares, I'm going to just check that when I press it back that it's going to be even with the original square. Trim off the excess fabric, and then I'm going to actually press. And I will repeat the process with the remaining 2 corners of the square so that all 4 corners have been snowballed. Now that all of my square and a square blocks are completed, I'm going to start on the next section of the final block. So that's going to be to take our rectangles of our medium color fabric, which for me is red, and we're going to snowball the ends so that they are opposite to each other. So we're going to put a square of our light on the end of each of these, and we're going to sew from the top right to the bottom left and the top left to the bottom right. And we're going to do that to all 4 of our medium strips. Now that I've finished sewing the squares onto my medium colored strips, I'm going to trim off the excess fabric and I'm going to press back. In order to be able to nest the seams with the square and the square block, I'm going to actually turn it so that I'm pressing towards the medium fabric. Now that we have all of the individual elements that we need for the block, we're going to go ahead and just lay the whole thing out. Now I'm going to just go ahead and sew this all together. So I'm going to sew this row together and this row together, and then I'm going to attach all of those together to make our center section. I will then attach the 2 side pieces, and then I'll sew the square to the side piece and the squares to the side piece, and then attach the top and bottom and follow the same process for the outer layer. And this is the completed Arkansas block. Thank you for joining us today for the Arkansas block. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and continue to join us as we sew through the 50 states. Have a wonderful day and happy quilting.